The time has come. Good evening. Oh, we've got a netgun about to start. Oh, here we are. Shout out the Relaxed Movement for chill background music. Subscribe. YouTube, the Relaxed Movement. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Another Sunday Ragchew video stream. Let's cut the music down here a bit. And that might be a little too much. Okay. All right. And let's get rid of this. Welcome. Let's get back to the home page. I was looking at some things there. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Sunday night Ragchew. We've got kind of a last minute idea I thought of because I was going through some papers and saw something I printed out, and it was on CW Ops, CW Academy. And there's a couple members on our club that do this, and I know members on our club that have gone through the academy and have come out CW operators. Maybe if they get on at some point and see the stream, they can get on and make some comments. And maybe even answer some questions in chat. So I wanted to just go over some of this. I don't know that much about it. I know, like I said, some people who have used it and it has worked for them. So I'm just going to go through this a little bit. And all I've done is printed out their CW Ops or CW Academy Beginner's Guide. Because I can't meet regularly with my job. It's very difficult for me to do any kind of meeting, so I thought I would get this, look it over, and kind of just start practicing on my own until I can figure out how to do the actual academy. So cwops.org is the website, and you can learn all about the organization right here under About, of course. And they've got memberships. Members only sections, dues, you can sponsor somebody, and all sorts of information there. If you look at the membership, to become a member, you have to CW Ops member. You must be a licensed amateur radio operator capable in the assessment of the nominator and sponsors of sending and receiving International Morse Code, or CW, at a rate of at least 25 words per minute. The membership process requires that you be nominated by a current member and sponsored by 3 other members, all of whom have worked you twice within the previous 12 months. The nomination process must be completed within a period of 5 months, and that's how you become a member. Personally, I'm far from this, and if anybody's new at this, they're probably far from this as well. So basically what I wanted to get in tonight for tonight's Ragchew is just this section here under CW Academy. And they've got a student portal, they got resources for students, an advisor portal, advisor resources. But let's focus on this first one up here, CW Academy options. So what are the options of CW Academy? CW Academy's options. It is a program put on by the CW Operators Club aimed at increasing the number of competent CW operators on the HFCW subbands. It addresses all levels of enthusiasts, from those aspiring to become licensed operators who want to learn and use Morse code to veteran operators who are intent on increasing their CW skills, speed, and activity. CW Academy semester descriptions. It's an 8 weeks long, held 3 times per year, January, February, May to June, and September to October. They meet twice weekly, usually on Mondays or Thursdays, each week typically starting at 7 or 8 p.m. I'm sure depending on the group and the advisors or instructors, that's probably flexible, but that's just what they say as the general sessions are held. Most of the classes are in English. Students are given daily assignments prior to each meeting, and The twice weekly meetings are held online using Zoom or Skype group calling, video and audio. During the online meetings, students and advisors can all see and hear each other, as well as the Morse code being sent by any of them using the using Zoom or Skype. It creates, in effect, a virtual training room. One thing I've heard from CW operators, I can do my call sign, that's about it, and CQ, I guess. But one of the biggest things I always hear from CW operators isn't so much learning CW as learning how to hear and understand CW. So that's key. The minimum essentials to get started would be high-speed broadband internet access for your Zoom meetings, a computing device, desktop, laptop, whatever, webcam with a microphone. That can be any kind built in, or an added-on headset with a webcam. You're going to want a key paddle, single level or dual lever. Straight keys, bugs, or cooties are not allowed. So I have this one here. If I can take it off out from under all this stuff, may not be able to see it. Okay. I kind of sanded it down and repainted it. This one was originally black. Some of them come with red keys, different colors. You can always, there's a whole bunch of different keys, but get to know some of the CW operators in your clubs. Maybe you can, practice with some of them, or if you go to a ham fest, practice with some, and get an idea of what kind of key or paddle you like. I really like this one. One side is the dits, the other side is the dots, or DAs, and you just go back and forth. It seems to be the easier way to learn it and quicker, instead of a straight key. So you need a keyer with a side tone or radio with built-in keyer and side tone, and dedication to 60 minutes of daily practice. And that's probably the most important, I would imagine. And then, of course, have a comfortable understanding of speaking the English language for most of these classes. Those who wish to participate will register below and follow the instructions. So here are the 4 group levels that they have: beginner, fundamental, intermediate, and advanced. Me, having practically zero knowledge of Morse code, would of course be a beginner, but they've got different levels for those who fit into these categories. So in the beginner class, you plan on learning 6 words per minute, perhaps more. It probably depends on how much you practice. Fundamentals, you're going to learn 10 or more. Intermediate, 20 or more. And advanced, it looks like increasing your contesting skills to 30 or more. Among the other things, increasing head copy, your sending skills, recognizing phrases as sounds. So perhaps that means instead of like CQ, if I hear it, I'm not necessarily hearing C and Q. I just know that that's CQ because it's that phrase or that word I know. In fact, I probably wouldn't know what Q is by itself or C, but maybe I would. I don't know. So one of the things I wanted to do this year was I want to try to get 5 to 10 words per minute, and just kind of on my own see how good I can get until I can figure out a way to actually participate in an active class. So that's why I printed this out. Was just going to practice some of it on my own, try to get some of the practice down, and then at some point hopefully get into a class that fits my schedule, which, it may not work. Maybe they're flexible enough depending on the group, but we'll see what happens. So for beginners, this would be me, of course, and you'd meet. When they meet, you could go through the coursework, which is on the printed out paper here. Here's where your sign up is, and here's the resources. So you can look at resources here, and I want to say this is what I downloaded. Let me just double check. Yes, I believe this is what I downloaded. So let's click this beginner practice and homework assignments. And what this does is, that looks like what I printed. So this is going to be for the beginners. And here's Ken Rainey, AC5EZ. He's in our local clubs. Him and a couple others very proficient at CW. And he's put this together. with, looks like K6RB, inspired by the practice instruction homework assignments for the beginner CW 3rd edition by Rob Brownstein, K6RB. So what you basically have is, let's get past the index here. Here's a history of the copyright of how it's been, come together. This one that Ken Rainey has put together. So here's the history of it, and gives you kind of an opening introduction to it. So you're going to want to read through this. It's broken up into 16 sessions. You meet with the advisor twice a week. We've kind of gone over some of this. And they're going to give you that. They kind of want you to do the 60 minutes a day practice. And here's some suggested reading. Instant Recognition by WZ8C. The FOC Guide to Morse Code Proficiency. Controlling Frustration and Nervousness. That sounds like a good one. K0MP. So these are just suggested readings for incoming students. Perhaps intermediate advanced. Maybe they read it or don't need it, but it probably could help everybody at any level. And a few words on learning Morse code. So Morse code is an audio language. We don't write the dits and das. We train our brains to translate the dit da patterns into characters. These characters are then assembled into words, phrases, and sentences that we humans can understand. Learning to copy Morse code in your head takes practice. You will not become proficient in Morse code without practicing, and a lot of it. As with learning anything new, we need to start with the basics, learn the alphabets, the numbers, the punctuation, and some basic pro signs are what this class is designed to do. There is a predefined order in the learning process, and if you follow the curriculum guidelines, by the time you reach session 16, you will be ready to get on the air and enjoy your newfound skill. Okay, so there is an online training tool, Morse code training tool. I think I recall downloading this and playing with it, but I thought I would stick to just my key and the paper that I printed out and my little keyer to just kind of practice with. So, like here's let's go back. The sessions are arranged. Let's look at an example of how to get started. Your first curriculum workbook assignment is to play the following messages one at a time until you feel you can recognize them. New characters introduced in each highlighted session in red. So I do remember playing with this. So if this is something you want to get, let's see how you get this. If you click this, oh, okay, it's online. It's not an app. So if you click that with the ops manual, whoops, I just deleted the manual. Let's go back down. If you click that online MCT tool, let's open that in another window. You can put call sign in here and location, your age, copying, sending. This is something I'm going to have to play with. I thought I remember looking at an app. So what would probably be good to do is, since we're only doing 30 minutes tonight, introducing this to everybody. I'm not going through how to do it because I haven't done it. I would go through this page 8, click on the MC tool, and learn how to use their tool. Personally, and that's why I'm doing this on my own, I want to learn how to do all this. And then when I'm able to schedule it and be part of an actual group, I'm kind of be ahead of the game and maybe even have a few words per minute. So go through 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and looks like perhaps 13, 14. Oh, these are sessions. Okay, sorry, I wasn't looking at the top. So go through page 12, learn how to use that tool, and then what you can do is start with the sessions. And here are the characters that you're going to practice here, right? A-T-E-N. And the words you're going to learn are T, eat, ate, at, tat, teen, neat, ten, tan. And then CW abbreviations A-A, A-N-T, N-E-T. Phrases eat at 10, an ant, at T, a neat ant. I feel like I'm doing a Dr. Seuss book. Or no, what is it? Hooked on Phonics is kind of what this reminds me of. I think I was raised on Hooked on Phonics. and the old vinyl albums, if anyone remembers the Hooked on Phonics series. You can actually still get that. I got that for my grandkids in CD format. So you'll go through, and this is session 1. And you're going to learn these 4 letters by practicing the letters in word format, abbreviations, and phrases. And here's your daily sending drill: T, 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 E, 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 A, 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 N, 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 N. And then you're going to go to session 2. So those are let's see if there's all 16 sessions on here. Because I know at the end it has a list, I think, of things. 8, 9. Oop, did I miss 16? Where'd it go? Session 10, session 11, 14, 15, 16. So let's go up here to 13. So here you go. By lesson 13, let's go up a little bit. Lesson 12. Let's look at lesson 12. By session 12. By session 12, it looks like you're to a point where you'll be able to do your call sign, the K6RB, WX, cloudy. This is copy practice, which means you're listening, right? So the MC tool is going to do this for session 12. And you're going to be learning to understand, to copy this, okay? And that's going to be important because when you're contesting or listening, of course, you got to know what a person's call sign, perhaps signal report or contesting report is, and not just send your report. And then you're going to do sending practice. So sending practice, you're going to practice on the MCT tool K6RB to K5VOP, WX, weather sunny, temp 82, rig runs. And so this looks like what by the end of session 3 or 13, you should be able to do, which to me looks like a basic exchange for a contest, some weather, and whatever you want there. So this is definitely going to get you through the basics to get going on contesting and basic CW contacting. I know I've heard from many CW operators who are skilled and know all about it that most CW operators, if they hear you sending at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words a minute, they know to slow down and will slow down so that you can copy. AGN, for again, AGN might be a really good one to make sure you know, so you can do again to make sure they know you didn't get what they sent, perhaps. There's decoders on a lot of radios. You've really have to get a really good signal, I've noticed, for most of the decoders to get it right. But basically, this is like learning another language. Now, I learned Japanese, and I know when you're learning a language, when I first lived in Japan, the Japanese are very good at understanding your competency level. They hear you speak. I assume we in English, maybe we do the same. Hopefully we do the same for foreigners coming here who may not speak perfect English. But they will slow down and speak to you slowly in the hopes of helping you. And sometimes Japanese will throw in an English word or two. They enjoy speaking English as well too. But so, when you get out there, don't feel too intimidated. And like I said, I've been told that most of the operators, they see you, maybe going 6 to 10 words, they will slow down and know that that's your rate of understanding as well, most likely. And if they don't, just move on to somebody else. There's plenty of CW operators out there. So then you've finished all that. Session 14 looks like before your online sessions, so before those 2 sessions a week, listen to HF radio on CW bands. Plenty of opportunity for that. Listen for slower stations calling CQ and copy their call signs. So it's just practice. You're getting your practice in. Listen to the slower stations in QSO and see if you can copy some of what they're saying. Practice sending your call sign, QTH, and name over and over again. And then session 15, we're almost finished. Before your online sessions, listen to some CW bands, listen for slower stations, listen to the slower stations in QSOs, and see if you can copy some of what they're saying. Practice listening to your call sign using many different methods. And you might be able to, by the next week or the next session, you might be able to listen a little faster. before your online session. In the final session, do the same thing. Practice sending first, second, and wrap exchanges. A great time to practice call signs, name, and station abbreviations is during K1USN's slow speed contest, Friday afternoon and Sunday evenings. You can read all about the SST by going to K1USN Radio Club website. This is an easy contest where you can make that first on-air contact. Your advisor can offer logging suggestions that assist during the SST event. And we all know there's tons of logging suggestions. So definitely it would be good to listen to the advisors from this course on what is the best logging suggestions. And let's just click on this and see what K1USN Radio Club website. Let's go ahead and proceed. US URLs not found. So let's see, K1USN Radio Club, unless it's something that perhaps you can only do when you're a student. K1USN slow speed test. Testing. Oh, that takes me back to CW Ops. Request a event station. So let's see. Fridays. Join us. Events, maybe? So here it is right here on their events page. So this is k1usn.com under events. Here's the Friday and Saturday things that the website was talking about. Looks like Sunday as well. You've got Friday. Well, let's go to February. February. Here is Friday, 3 p.m., February 2nd. There it is, 3 to 4 p.m. This gives you all the information. The slow speed test, SST, is designed to encourage and assist those who signed up for CW Academy to learn CW or to improve their skills, but are not yet copying 25 words a minute. So here you go. Go to their website, check their calendar, and you got at least these 3 days, it looks like. That's a 2 meter net. 2 days, sorry. Fridays and Sundays. Sundays are 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And it says sst.html. Same thing. Let's try that. sst. And let's see what that takes us to. No URL. Okay. So what I would suggest is contact the people at CW Ops, or perhaps directly here, and get that final information. Here's suggested operating frequencies. Here's normal dates and time. Here's a suggestion for N1MM logger. So I would definitely go through this sst.html site, k1usn.com/sst.html, and read through this information. Contact somebody if you need to here, or contact them at CW Ops. Here you go, right here. For more info or questions about the SSTs, here's the right column, or email them here. And if that doesn't work, go back to CW Ops and maybe email one of them. Here at the end of the printout, I actually got something different, so I'm going to look. Here's some abbreviations. Down here is for those who don't know the QR, and I certainly don't know all of them, but here's some Q codes. And so when you do things, see some of them you might know QRP, which is lower power. QRZ, who's calling, or you can send QRZ to call out. So learning some of those is kind of good. QTH is what's your location, or you can say your QTH, your location, is your city. So a lot of good information. Here's, of course, if you don't know, state abbreviations, Canadian province abbreviations, and the phonetics for NATO, and so on and so on. So one thing, let's see, this one I downloaded talks about the tool. And see, what this one does is it's got it all printed out, but not in the same format. So maybe this is an updated format. I printed this a while back. And in my session 1, it just goes through, let's go back up here. Session 1, it goes through these. The AAA, you probably can't see it because it's so bright, I think, and that's going to fade out. So session 1, it basically just goes down segment T, 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 E, E, A, and then it says segment T, T, E, E, A, T. So it's the same thing that the tool does, but I can lay this next to me if I don't have access to internet, computer, and can't use the tool. With my job, that happens. That's just the way it is. I don't have access to all that. And this allows me, I could sit there with a little miniature keyer and practice. That doesn't really help with the listening, but it helps me in doing the actual CW. So let's look up also, I wanted to see what a, go back up here with, come on, it's not scrolling. Oh wait, where was the, I should have got my keyer. It is probably outside. So CW keyer. There's a ton of information. CW keyer on the web. A keyer is something like mine, if I can find it here, looks like, again, I got it used from another ham who no longer needed it, and he actually went through the CW Academy. Let me just show you this picture right here. So what this keyer does is your key plugs into the keyer, and this one looks like it goes into here. So I don't know if this one has sound or anything. It looks like this might be audio out to a speaker perhaps. But mine has a little speaker built in, so you can actually use your key into the keyer, and it has a speaker, and you can hear your key, hear your keying as you do it, as you practice. And I think with that, it is kind of the audio hearing and listening as well to help you hear while keying at the same time. So you can do that and practice it anywhere. And there's fancier keyers. This one actually looks like it decodes here. You know, you can go cheap and you can go expensive. And I'm not here's my keyer right here. So this is an older keyer that I have, MFJ 401B, works really well. I would suggest, if you get into the CW Academy, find out what they suggest. Find out from fellow hams in your clubs. This little keyer, this key right here, is actually similar to the one I got for like $6 or $7, I think, on Amazon or eBay. And you put it together. It's 3D printed, or you could probably find schematics to 3D print it yourself. And they've got it plugged in straight. Here's a little keyer with a speaker, so they can practice with this small little setup. Lots of options. There's so much out there. And of course, you know, there's tons of YouTubers out there with all sorts of YouTube videos on this kind of stuff. The thing I like to do is just get on here and kind of go over some of the things that I've either done and have a little more information on, or I'm learning as well. And so I have very little information on this. Know some people that have gone through it. Know some of the advisors. Know Ken Rainey, AC5EZ, who has this updated guide. And I hope this year, like I said, one of my goals is to do CW. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe I can start streaming me practicing CW and see how it goes. But that's pretty much all I wanted to go over tonight. This is my key actually right here. Mine was black and kind of chipped up, so I just painted it silver, but lots of options out there, guys. Ham fests are great places to get hands-on with keys. Like I said, check the clubs. There's you probably got club members in your local clubs who have multiple keys that you can get your hands on and play with, and find out what works for you, what you like, what fits in your budget, and just have fun with it, guys. That's all I wanted to go over. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll be back next Sunday and hopefully get another video out this week. You guys take care. Have a good night. 73, and this is K5VOP. I'll catch you on the next Sunday.